some news coming in at this point in time has got to do with what sources within the ED are now saying. The court on technical grounds has given this order. The court has not really commented on the merits of the case, argues in fact the ED, of course, through our sources. Now that there is an FIR by the Delhi police, we will continue our investigation and again file the charge sheet once the Delhi police files it. It's a very clear-cut case of money laundering and that has been established in the investigation, is what our sources are indicating through the Enforcement Directorate. That's what we're learning at this point in time, with the ED saying that this was more of a technical matter. Nothing really, Srishti, like we said, on the merits of the case. So the investigations will continue and the charge sheet, sources within the ED indicate, is going to be filed once again.
Well, as I pointed out earlier, Sneha, the recourse that the investigating agency ED will now have would be to investigate the EOW FIR, because as we know, the court has today clearly pointed out that for the Enforcement Directorate to step in and probe money laundering and to file a charge sheet and make somebody an accused, there has to be an FIR in the predicate offence in the first place. The requirement of an FIR, whether or not an FIR is required, can ED jump in any case based on any private person's complaint, is something that the court decided. And that aspect has gone against ED. Now, even though the court has refused to comment on merits of the allegations against the Gandhis in this case, the court's conclusion today and its refusal to take cognizance of ED's charge sheet says a lot about the investigating agencies as well, because we've seen a lot of time and effort of the agency go into investigating and filing a prosecution complaint, which according to the court now is not maintainable in the first place. Yes, the ED will have an option now to file whatever they've investigated, to use the content of that investigation, to use their evidence and file a charge sheet in the EOW FIR. But as far as their effort till now to convince court that their investigation and their charge sheet on Mrs. Subramanian Swamy's complaint, on a private complaint, could still was maintainable, was legible, and the court should summon up.
बैठे हैं वहां पर पहले मोतीलाल वोरा जी, सोनिया जी, खरगे जी, उनको कोई उससे कुछ एक पैसा नहीं मिल सकता और वो कहते हैं स्थानांतरण हुआ पैसे का, मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग हुई। तो इस बात पे कॉग्निजेंस सबसे नीचे वाली छोटी सी चीज होती है। कोर्ट कॉग्निजेंस भी नहीं ले, इसका मतलब है कि ये तथ्य विहीन केस है और आपको इससे मालूम पड़ता है कि किस प्रकार से हल्ला शोर मचा के मीडिया में एक बहुत बड़ा एक बवंडर बनाकर ये चीज की जाती है। I'll be very brief in English. When I started arguing the case, after that, in the arguments I had told the court that this is a very weird case where there is not a millimeter movement of money, not a millimeter movement of immovable property. All the properties remain with AJL and yet there is money laundering. AJL is now owned 90% by another company, Young India. That is all that has happened. Not-for-profit companies are made every time to make one company debt-free. Every corporate in India is doing it. To make my company debt-free, I can have a transfer of shares. But Young Indian Company is a very remarkable company. It's a not-for-profit company where all the directors, Kharge ji, Sonia ji, late Motilal Vora ji, etc., not one of them can get 1 paisa dividend, even if they want to give a dividend. They can get no profit. They can get no dispersal. They get no car, building, staff, nothing. And there is money laundering. So today the judgment is significant because cognizance is the lowest form of dealing with a case. It is very easy to take cognizance of a case. It means that the case is not worth taking cognizance of. And here you see the amount of the halla gulla shor machaya hai. BJP has made a superstructure of exaggeration.
Do you think there is a motive behind this Delhi police FIR?
Delhi police FIR is a subsequent development intended to cure, supposedly to cure the defect I pointed out when I argued the matter. Because there was no FIR earlier by the Delhi police.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right. In fact, you've heard really from the Congress party at this point in time on how, on really the developments within the court at this point in time. I'm now going to go across to Munish Pandey, who's got more on that story. Munish tracks the Enforcement Directorate for us. The argument here through your sources, Munish, is clear that this isn't really about the merits of the case. That isn't something the court really has spoken about, but more of technicalities, and that the investigations would continue. What more can you tell us?
Well, Sneha, indeed, this is a setback for the Enforcement Directorate, but top sources within the Enforcement Directorate have told India Today that the court order is based on the technical ground. One, there was a complaint by the private person. According to the rules, Sneha, and it is important to point out, is that according to the PMLA rules, ED can file a case only if there is an FIR by an agency or there is a complaint by a government official or government. In this case, there was a complaint by a private person, that is Subramanian Swamy, and on that particular technical ground, the cognizance was rejected by the court in this case. But ED sources have told India Today that now there is an FIR by the Delhi police. They will wait for Delhi police to file the charge sheet, and again they will file the charge sheet. Also, ED sources are saying that there is a clear-cut case of money laundering, and that is why, going by the evidence, the court has not given any order against the ED investigation or on the merit of the case. So it is only a matter of time. Of course, this is a temporary relief for the Gandhi family and all those who are involved in this alleged scam, but it is only temporary, and ED says that the moment Delhi police files the charge, their investigation is almost over. They have recorded statements of Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, so there is no need to again record their statement. There is no need to again collect the evidence, and the moment the police files the charge sheet, ED will again file charge sheet, but it may take 6 months or a year. Sneha, going by the timeline.
You know, essentially, Munish, what you're telling us right now, as far as the ED is concerned, that in spite of this setback, as far as the technicalities are concerned, they in fact are indicating that this indeed is a watertight case and that a clear-cut case of money laundering, so not an iota of doubt about that, and that the investigations in that sense really are on track. Munish.
Absolutely, Sneha, and the ED officials are very confident about the case which they have built in connection with the National Herald and all those who have been named as an accused in this case. Now, Sneha, if you go by the timeline of the case, Subramanian Swamy filed the application before the lower court. It was taken up by the court, and then a legal opinion was taken by the Enforcement Directorate at that point of time. Also, Sneha, there was one particular officer in ED at that point of time. He was of the opinion that we cannot file an ECIR, which means that we cannot file a case in connection with this case because there is no FIR by any agency. But ED officials at that point of time, they went by the legal opinion given by the top lawyers in the country, and then they initiated the inquiry. ED, of course, they were of the, they suspected that this may go, in other way, and that is why, based on ED's investigation, Delhi police filed an FIR a few weeks ago, and now ED will take cognizance of that particular FIR. They have already merged the FIR with their investigation, and they will be filing the charge sheet. As far as evidence is concerned, Sneha, it was an investigation by the ED which went on for more than 3 to 4 years. There were statements of Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, DK Shivkumar, DK Suresh. All those individuals appeared before the ED. Their statements were recorded under Section 50 of Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which acts as an evidence in the case. And going by the evidence, ED is very confident that this is a clear case of money laundering. And the moment now they file the charge sheet, ED, the court will have to take cognizance, because then there won't be any technical difficulty, any technical ground based on which that particular charge can be challenged.
Be with us, Munish. I'm just going to come back to you in a moment from now.